India scales a new peak in daily testing. Over 9 lakh COVID-19 tests conducted in the last 24 hours. About 21 lakh patients beat the epidemic. Recovery rate reaches near 74%. Worldwide, COVID-19 cases rise to over 2 crore 25 lakhs with 7 lakh 90,000 deaths. Flood situation remains grim in Bihar. About 81 lakh people across 16 districts affected. Delhi NCR areas continue to witness medium to heavy rainfall. Traffic snarls being reported due to waterlogging at many roads and underpasses. IMD predicts thunderstorm accompanied with medium to heavy rains for today. Cabinet approves the National Recruitment Agency for conducting a common test for screening candidates for jobs in public sector banks and non-gazetted Group B or Group C posts in the central government. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says it will be a boon for the youth and also boost transparency. US President Donald Trump expresses intent to snap back Iran sanctions. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo to travel to New York today. US accuses Iran of significant non-compliance with the 2015 nuclear deal. And in sports, German club Bayern Munich continue their relentless march in the UEFA Champions League to book an 11th appearance in the final of the European competition. Sets up a mouth-watering summit clash against French club Paris Saint-Germain. Beat Lyon in the semis. Good morning. Welcome to English News. I am Anil Thomas. Now for the stories in detail. Early identification through testing, surveillance and contact tracing, along with focus on timely and appropriate clinical treatment of COVID-19 patients, have ensured that only a small proportion of active cases are on ventilator support. India scaled a new high in daily testing. More than 9 lakh tests being conducted in the last 24 hours. The positive rate has also come down below 8%. Meanwhile, 58,794 recoveries were recorded on Wednesday, taking the cumulative total of those people discharged or cured to 20,96,664 patients. With this, the recovery rate currently stands at 73.91%. Due to the three-pronged strategy of test, trace and treat, the fatality rate is continuously dropping. It now stands at 1.90 with 53,866 deaths recorded so far. With nearly 9 lakh tests being conducted each day, the number of active COVID-19 cases in India stands at 6,86,395, which is 24.2% of the total cases reported so far. According to the Indian Council of Medical Research, total number of samples tested up to the 19th of August are 3 crore 26 lakh 61,252. That includes 9 lakh 18,470 samples that were tested on one single day. Talking about the states that have been worst affected by the pandemic, first up, western state of Maharashtra, that remains the worst affected from the deadly COVID-19 pandemic in the country. 13,165 COVID cases were reported from Maharashtra in the past 24 hours. Besides, 9,011 patients were discharged on Wednesday. Currently, there are a total of 1,60,413 active patients in the state. Moving down south to Karnataka, where 8,642 persons tested positive for COVID-19 on Wednesday. As per the daily official bulletin, 126 deaths were reported in the last 24 hours, while 7,201 patients were discharged on Wednesday. The active cases in the southern state of Karnataka currently stand at 81,097. Moving further south to Tamil Nadu, where 5,795 persons tested positive for COVID-19 on Wednesday. 116 deaths were reported, while 6,384 patients were discharged from hospitals in the last 24 hours. Heading up north to the national capital Delhi, that recorded 1,398 new coronavirus cases on Wednesday, taking the total tally of active cases in Delhi to 11,137. In the last 24 hours, patients that were cured or discharged stand at 1,320, while 9 people lost their life in the national capital. Shifting now to the hotels in the national capital that were allowed to reopen, while the gymnasiums will continue to remain closed amid the ongoing COVID-19 crisis. The decision was taken in the Delhi Disaster Management Authority meeting chaired by Lieutenant Governor Anil Baijal. As per the protocols of the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, hotels will be permitted to open. Hotels have already been dealing from the hospitals. Taking a cautious view, gymnasiums are not being allowed to open for now, as it is felt that it would be difficult to ensure compliance and monitoring of social distancing norms. One weekly market per day per zone in the municipal corporations and local bodies is allowed to open on a trial basis for a week. Banquet halls have been dealing from the hospitals given the present availability of beds in the hospital. As far as enhancing the capacity of passengers in the DTC buses, the present limit of 20 passengers will be continued for now. Meanwhile, medium to heavy rains continue to lash parts of Delhi and the national capital regions in the last 24 hours. Most of the roads across the region are waterlogged, giving a tough time for the commuters. Disruption of traffic flow is being witnessed due to some roads being flooded or closed and waterlogging in low-lying areas, streets and roads. As per the IMD, widespread and heavy rains are expected to continue over different parts of northwest India, including the western Himalayan region and central India as well for the day. This is mainly as the monsoon trough is located closely to Delhi. Strong moisture-laden winds blowing from the Arabian Sea is bringing heavy rains in the northern region. Residents of Delhi and National Capital Region witnessed a rough time on Wednesday due to submerged underpasses, waist-deep water on roads, fallen trees and electricity poles. Well, for more on the story, Tapas joins us with more on the weather update. Tapas, good morning. Is there relief today, or do we expect, another bad spell of rains and stoppages everywhere in Delhi?
Well, Anil, first and foremost, good morning. And yes, it is. It looks like it's going to be raining. It's going to be a rainy day for most part of the day. But unlike yesterday, when it actually, poured cats and dogs in the national capital, right now the intensity of rain is not that much. It is on the range of moderate to medium to let's say on a lower side. So the intensity is not there as it was yesterday, but it is going to continue for another couple of hours at least before it's slowly it starts to slowly go away, and we may find the weather to clear after post lunch maybe. But as far as the Met Department is concerned, they have already said a couple of days back that 19th and 20 is the peak time when the monsoon trough, which was expected to be near about Delhi. So right now the monsoon trough, this is basically a small fine line that stretches, and that actually determines the intensity of that. So that is right now very close to Delhi, and that is one of the reasons why we have seen that Delhi is experiencing such a heavy downpour. Another part that is very important is the convergence of the lower level of Arabian Sea and the moisture that is coming from there. So the moisture that is right now is in the lower atmosphere, and that is also kind of aggravating the situation in the national capital. Earlier it was expected that Delhi will have after 19 and 20 there will be some sort of a break from this rain, but it seems that it is going to continue, though the intensity will reduce very much in the next couple of days. It's going to again pick up on Saturday and Sunday, but in the tomorrow and day after tomorrow, one expects some sort of relief in the intensity of rain, the way it was going on since since yesterday.
Okay, Tapas, also a quick update on the satellite cities, especially Noida, Gurugram. What's the situation there? Because I just saw a tweet from the Gurugram traffic police asking people to stay indoors and not venture out.
In Gurugram, especially the border area, especially the artery road which connects both Delhi as well as Gurugram, that there was a major traffic snarl, as well as the water actually filled the whole lot of area. So it's the same way as today also, but they are trying to clear the water from those roads, because remember, it is actually a hazard for people who are traveling on their vehicle. You don't exactly know where if there is a manhole that is uncovered, if there is any if there is any particular place which is covered with water, and one can actually cause quite a bit of a damage to that. But Delhi police has also in fact been coming out with the traffic alerts. In fact, they have said in their many tweets as well as in their alerts that places like GT Road in the Azadpur Sabzi Mandi area, in fact there's a Jahangirpuri GTK depot, as well as Madanpur, and the ITO near about the Yamuna area. These are the places, also the border areas, be it Noida, be it Haryana, be it UP, all these border areas and the low-lying areas. The Delhi traffic police have been issuing traffic alerts and advisories to be careful and drive in a careful manner, because as I already have said that it's a risky business, it's a risky proposition to travel on a rainy day, and that too when the roads are filled with water. Yesterday also we have seen, in fact today also, most of the artery road connected to Delhi are filled with water, and there's hardly much of a road left for the transport to take place. So that is going on. So one has to be careful while venturing out. Anil.
Okay, we'll leave it there. You take good care of yourself, covering the rains there. Also keep yourself protected, and we'll come back to you for more updates on the rain situation in Delhi and the national capital region. Well, moving on now to Bihar, where there is no let up in the flood fury in Bihar. Over 81 lakh people across 16 districts are still facing the deluge. River Ganga has started rising all along its course in Bihar. The river is flowing 12 centimeters above the danger mark at Gandhi Ghat in Patna. Moderate rainfall has occurred in the catchment areas of the river Gandak during the past 24 hours. This has caused heavy discharge from the Gandak barrage in Valmiki Nagar. According to Water Resources Department, over 1,86,000 cusick of water was discharged from the barrage on Wednesday. Around 1.8 lakh cusick water was released from the Bansagar Dam in Madhya Pradesh on Wednesday. It will have an impact on the Ganga along the coast in Bihar after 5 days. Keeping this in view, an alert has been sounded in Rohtas district. As per the State Disaster Management Department, the rescue and relief work is going on in full swing in the flood affected areas. However, the number of relief camps and community kitchens are reduced as water has receded from certain areas. An ex gratia relief of over 543 crore rupees have been given to over 9 lakh families at the rate of 6,000 to each flood affected family. Meanwhile, the Met Department has predicted light to moderate rainfall in Bihar for the next few days. Moving to Kerala and Idukki in particular, where the death toll in the massive landslide in Idukki district has risen to 62, with one more body of a 9-year boy recovered on Wednesday. A massive landslide crushed a settlement of tea estate workers in Munnar in Idukki in Kerala on August 7th. Search operations will continue till the last body is recovered. Meanwhile, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Edappadi Palaniswamy has announced an ex gratia payment of 3 lakh rupees to each of the kin of those who died in the Rajamala landslide. He also announced financial assistance of 1 lakh rupees each for the severely injured. Well, India will soon get a national recruitment agency. The cabinet on Wednesday okayed the setting up of a new agency for conducting a common examination for non-gazetted Group B and C jobs in the central government. The new agency will essentially screen candidates for recruitment by the Staff Selection Commission, the Railway Recruitment Board and the Institute of Banking Service Personnel. It would be a major boon for the youth, especially those living in rural areas. It's a path-breaking reform as it will use technology to eradicate malpractices. It will greatly reduce the recruitment cycle. The NRA will conduct mock tests for rural youth and it will have a 24/7 helpline and a grievance redressal portal.
This is a revolutionary reform and I think one of the most landmark reforms in the history of independent India. This is a reform which will bring in ease of recruitment, ease of selection, ease of job placement, and thereby ease of living, particularly for certain sections of society which are at a disadvantage on one account or the other. It will be a saving on the state exchequer, it will be saving on the personal cost, and it will be a huge convenience. So in other words, it is a combination of convenience and cost effectiveness.
India and China will be holding the 18th meeting of the Working Mechanism for Consultation and Coordination on the India-China border affairs today. Sources said that the joint secretary level meeting will be discussing various aspects of the ongoing strain between the two sides along the LAC. Last such meeting was held on the 24th of July when the two sides had agreed that early and complete disengagement of the troops along the LAC, that's the line of actual control, and de-escalation from India-China border areas in accordance with the bilateral agreement and protocols. The full restoration of peace and tranquility was essential for the smooth overall development of bilateral relations. Moving on, the Supreme Court would today hear the arguments on the quantum of sentence to be awarded to lawyer Prashant Bhushan in a contempt of court case. The court had last week held activist lawyer Prashant Bhushan guilty of contempt for his 2 derogatory tweets against the judiciary. Meanwhile, Prashant Bhushan on Wednesday evening moved the apex court seeking deferment of the proceedings till a review petition is filed and considered. Well, time now to take a look at updates on COVID-19 from across the world. Over 2 crore 25 lakh coronavirus cases have been registered globally, with more than 7 lakh 89,000 deaths related to COVID-19 from the global map. As many as 1 crore 53 lakh people have recovered from the virus, and COVID-19 cases have been shooting up in the United States, making it the worst hit country by the pandemic for several weeks now. United States has over 56 lakh 99,000 cases with the death toll now past 1 lakh 76,000. United States is followed by South American nation Brazil, which has recorded more than 1 lakh 11,000 deaths and over 34 lakh 60,000 COVID-19 cases. In terms of COVID-19 death toll worldwide, USA and Brazil are followed by Mexico with a death toll surging past 57,700. The New York University is all set to welcome back students to its Manhattan campus, but as per the university's coronavirus safety plan, the scholars are required to get tested for the virus upon arrival. A mix of international students who have chosen in-person learning, with classes for undergraduates beginning on September 2nd. The university in downtown Manhattan is also giving students the options of remote learning or a blended program between the two. Those coming from state-designated coronavirus hotspots are arriving this week, which is 2 weeks earlier than usual to allow time for the mandatory 14-day quarantine. The New York City has more than 4,57,000 cases of the virus with over 32,000 deaths. The United States stands in the first position with over 57 lakh cases and more than 1,76,000 deaths. United States, meanwhile, will demand that all United Nations sanctions be reimposed against Iran. Donald Trump announced this while the Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, will travel to New York today to present the U.S. demand accusing Iran of significant non-compliance with the 2015 nuclear deal.
I imposed the toughest ever sanctions on Iran, and this has caused great difficulty for them, giving money to terrorist organizations, and if they do, they'll have hell to pay. Today, I'm directing the Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, to notify the UN Security Council that the United States intends to restore virtually all of the previously suspended United Nations sanctions on Iran. It's a snapback.
Well, we'll now get you the latest about the U.S. election campaign. The Democratic Party has officially nominated Joe Biden for president. He has vowed his election would repair a pandemic-battered America and put an end to the chaos that has defined Republican President Donald Trump's administration. Delivering her nomination acceptance speech today, Democratic Vice Presidential nominee Kamala Harris cast the presidential election as a chance to change the course of history.
Nomination for Vice President of the United States of America. I do so committed to the word that teaches me to walk by faith and not by sight.
At least 45 migrants and refugees have died in the Mediterranean Sea in the largest recorded shipwreck of the Libyan coast this year. The UN Refugee Agency, UNHRC, said there were among over 80 people on board a vessel whose engine exploded off the coast of Zwara. Around 37 survivors were rescued by local fishermen. The survivors of Wednesday's shipwreck, who were mainly from Senegal, Mali, Chad and Ghana, were detained after they disembarked in Libya. Libya is a major route for migrants seeking to reach Europe. Lightning strikes sparked dozens of wildfires in Northern California's wine country on Wednesday. California was hit by nearly 11,000 lightning strikes in 72 hours, which sparked over 360 fires. Thousands of people have had to flee their homes in areas near San Francisco after several quick-moving wildfires swept into the region. Most at risk in the city of Wassaville, where 50 structures were burned down while another 50 damaged by the fire. Californian Governor Gavin Newsom has declared a state of emergency as authorities battle hundreds of fires burning around the state. On sports, German giants Bayern Munich are through to the UEFA Champions League final following a 3-0 victory against Lyon on Wednesday night to book an 11th appearance in the final of the competition and a showdown with Paris Saint-Germain. A first-half double from Sergei and a late header from Robert Lewandowski was the difference in the game. It was a game of missed chances for French club Lyon. Earlier, they had two great opportunities to score and they went waste, with Memphis Depay's solo run ending in a shot that hit the side netting of the goal and another that came from Karl Toko, whose heroic run into the box ended flatly with a wasted shot on target. The result sets up a juicy final with Bayern Munich facing French club Paris Saint-Germain in Lisbon on the 23rd of August. The German champions have barely had a glove laid on them in Europe this season, with this their 10th straight Champions League win, equaling the record for winning streaks in the competition set by Real Madrid in 2015 and Bayern Munich themselves in 2013. Well, Barcelona have appointed former player Ronald Koeman as their new coach as the Spanish football giants look to rebuild after a 2-way thrashing by Bayern Munich that knocked them out of the Champions League. The 57-year-old Dutchman signed a 2-year deal that has seen him leave his position as boss of the Dutch national team to take the reins of his former Spanish club. Koeman is loved at Barcelona for his role in Johan Cruyff's hugely successful side known as the Dream Team and for scoring the goal that delivered the club's first ever European Cup in 1992. The defender later became the club assistant coach before embarking on a career as a head coach, managing Dutch sides Ajax Amsterdam, PSV Eindhoven and Feyenoord, also handling English Premier League clubs like Southampton and Everton before joining Spanish La Liga club Valencia. Well, that's all we have time for in this edition of news. But remember to follow physical distancing at all times and also to wear your face mask. Wash your hands every 20 minutes. If not possible, use a hand sanitizer to keep yourself clean, because we all need to see a better tomorrow. Thanks for watching.